Hi guys, welcome to Wheel of Betting. I'm Jim Knight. I'm going to be taking you through some team over 1.5 goal bets this weekend and looking back to get back to winning ways. Starting in the Premier League this weekend, Liverpool v Arsenal, and I think there are some reasons to be with Arsenal and siding with the Gunners this weekend. So Liverpool able to a draw against West Bromwich Albion last weekend, which in itself isn't a bad result, but I think recently they've shown plenty of signs that they're defensively suspect. That's mostly due to injuries. It's not something that they're just falling out of form. The likes of Glenn Johnson, Daniel Agger is still out. Lucas Leiva as well, who's a big influence in that centre of the park. Jose Enrique is still on the sidelines as well. It means I think they're a little bit soft-centred, and I think it's something Arsenal can exploit when they come to town. Liverpool have conceded in 7 of the 12 home Premier League games this year, so teams shouldn't fear going to Anfield. Liverpool have conceded to plenty worse teams than Arsenal. And more recently, I think the performances that they've turned in defensively have been pretty worrying. Conceded 2 against Aston Villa, where they were absolutely battered in the first half. And really, Villa should have been more than 2 ahead before they sat back a little bit, and Liverpool managed to pull it back for a draw. They also conceded 3 against Stoke the week before that. So it's a real sign that potentially Arsenal can look at this game and say, yeah, this is a good chance to extend our top of the league record and our winning run. They obviously are still third favourites in the title race, behind Manchester City and Chelsea. And this is one of their first big tests in the running. They've got some tough games to come, but they've got a good goal scoring record on the road. So they've scored 2 or more in 9 of their 12 away Premier League games this year. One of those against the top 6, admittedly so. They've not played a lot of the big sides away from the Emirates, and they are missing a few players. I think that's part of the reason why I am backing them this weekend. There's no Diaby, no Flamini, could be no Wilshere, no Arteta, and no Ramsey. Obviously, he's still sidelined and will be for a good few more weeks as well. Kim Kallstrom brought in to hopefully fill that defensive midfield void, and looks like he might not play in an Arsenal shirt till March. So it could be a real fire against fire clash here. But I'm tempted to side with the side that have got their attacking players in form against some defensively frail opportunities in Liverpool. As I said, it's a real chance for them to extend their lead at the top of the division. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think, is a big positive for Arsenal in this one. So came back and scored twice against Crystal Palace to secure that 2-0 win at the weekend. And the majority of their attacking options are fit and ready to go. So Giroud, Ozil, Podolski, Santi Cazorla, it's been absolutely brilliant the last few weeks, whether it be goal scoring or assists. His assist for I think it was the second Oxlade-Chamberlain goal was absolutely sublime. Against Palace, and I think he is purring at the moment, taking the spotlight off Mesut Ozil a little bit in that creative flair player role, which has got to please Arsene Wenger. It's a tough meeting to call on the outright result. I wouldn't be liking to side with either team here, to be honest. I'd stay away from that. I think there's better options considering the head-to-head record as well. So Arsenal have scored 2 or more in the last 4 meetings with Liverpool. So I think overall Arsenal over 1.5 goals is going to be the pick here. It's available at around 13 to 8, so it's a chunky old price if you look at how badly Liverpool have been defending recently. We're near the 4-minute mark actually, so I better get a move on with these last 2. We'll go to the Championship. And Blackpool, a team that I've enjoyed opposing on a few occasions this season. I know Mark O'Hare from Sporting Bet, fellow We Love Betting tipster, is well against them to get relegated this year. I think he's bet on them outright, and they made a good start to the season, but they've been absolutely abysmal in recent weeks, and I think they could get turned over again when Nottingham Forest come to town, as much as that pains me as a big Leicester City fan. So Blackpool, we all know the story. They sacked Paul Ince fairly recently. Tom Ince left on deadline day to go to Crystal Palace on loan till the end of the season, and things aren't looking up for Blackpool. Poor old Barry Ferguson's got a bit of a job on his hands here. It's not that bad, their form, if you take it on as a whole for the season. They're not in the relegation zone, although they could be if they carry on being so awful. In their last 12 Championship games, they've only taken two points from those 2 draws. And, after letting their best player go, I think morale's going to be at a pretty low ebb for Blackpool. If you take their record at home via the top 8, it's actually encouraging for this bet. So 5 games played, 4 times they've conceded 2 or more. Recent form, they've conceded 2 or more in 8 of their last 11. So it's going from bad to worse. And Forest are battling for promotion. They're doing quite well. And although a playoff place looks more likely than automatic, they're hitting a rich vein of form of late. So no defeat in 11 championship games. So Billy Davies has got that team going really, really well, despite his moaning about lack of a striker, starting Greg Halford up front when he's got 5 strikers on the bench or something ridiculous against Watford. So they score less goals away, Forest, but with Blackpool's awful form and Davies' men scoring for fun of late, they've actually netted 11 goals in their last 3 games. They'll be tough to contain. This excludes the game on Wednesday night against Preston in the Cup. Jamie Patterson has found his goal scoring form. I think he's been one of the revelations of the second half of the season for Forest so far. Simon Cox and Darius Henderson as well, starting to chip in with some goals. Billy Davies actually starting 2 strikers, 2 out-and-out proper strikers against Yeovil on Sunday. Shock horror. Maybe stop moaning now the transfer window's shut. There's not a lot in that Blackpool back line that encourages me, to be honest. Mackenzie, Broadfoot, Chris Basham. I don't think they're going to be able to contain Forest here, and we can get a good price actually on Forest to score over 1.5 goals. It's 23-20, which I think is a more than fair price. About the East Midlands club getting the better of an abysmal Blackpool, when they travel up north. So the final tip for this weekend is Leyton Orient v Peterborough, and we were going to be against Peterborough last weekend actually when they were going to host Colchester. So some of the stats you probably will have heard last week, so forgive me for repeating myself a little bit. But Orient did slip to defeat against Rotherham the weekend. They lost 2-1. I don't think that's a bad result really. I mean, Rotherham are one of the form teams in the division, and Orient can get their promotion bid back on track here. They slipped out the automatic promotion places, but that should kind of kick them on a little bit. Spoken about the likes of Mooney, Cox, Moses Ola-Bellagio as well as on the score sheet the weekend. I've spoken about them before. Kevin Lisby, of course, as well, firing in. 59 goals, the best attack in League One now. And Posh have had a nightmare few weeks. Not only have a couple of games been called off, so including last weekend we were going to back against them against Colchester. Just to recap though, they've been in free fall. So in their last 7 games since Boxing Day in the league, they've leagued 20 goals. Which is almost 3 a game. The mathematicians amongst you will be able to work that one out. They had a Jack Baldwin from Hartlepool, who's a curious signing, 20-year-old defender. £500,000 they paid for him, so big old bit of pressure on his shoulders. I'm not sure that's going to be enough, to be honest, to shore up this defence that's leaking more goals than anybody else in the division at the moment. So in the reverse fixture, Orient went to London Road earlier in the season and gave Posh a beating 3-1. 2 for Mooney on that day and 1 for Cox as well. And I think they're well capable of doing the same again here. So winning the game and winning it by scoring a couple of goals at least. Posh have played 4 of the current top 8 away so far this year, so it's normally a good indicator of how teams have got on. 3 of those games, so Brentford, Walsall and Swindon, ended in defeats, and in all of those games they conceded at least twice. So I think that's plenty of reasons to be against Peterborough and on the side of Leyton Orient, who've done so well landing this bet on such a routine basis. I can't turn down the opportunity to back them against a Peterborough side who leak plenty of goals on a regular basis. So Orient over 1.5 goals is the pick at even money with Sporting Bets. That's the shortest of this weekend's 3 prices. So just to recap, we've got Liverpool to concede 2 goals, so Arsenal over 1.5. We've got Nottingham Forest over 1.5. They play Blackpool, and Peterborough to concede 2 or more, so Leyton Orient over 1.5 goals when they face each other on Saturday afternoon. Good luck, guys, and I'll see you next week.